Hey guys, it's your boy M.D.s here, back with another video. Hope everyone's doing well wherever you are, excuse me, and having a good August, which I hope will be a positive month because it's my birth month. And I thought when I make this video, I've been planning it for a while, might be a bit corny perhaps, but I thought I'd say I'd like to thank God for the opportunity for making this video, even though I'm not the most religious, and I might not always agree with everything in the Bible, but I thought I'd say that anyway, because a few things have been going fairly well. So I think so far it could have been better, but I just thought I'd be positive anyway. So and not and learn to appreciate things more. But yeah, so as I say, I hope you're doing well wherever you are, and hopefully you'll support my channel, especially in August because it's my birth month. So I'd appreciate it so much, and as ever, I appreciate your views, likes, shares, or any other support you have on my channel. And yeah, especially on the 29th, which is my birthday, and I hope to upload some videos on my birthday if I can. Although I might be, I hope to upload as many videos as I can in August, although I might be spending some time with my family and that sort of thing, or at least some of my family members. So I'm not sure how much opportunity I'll have to upload, but I'll upload as many videos as I can. Hope somebody out there, as I say, will hope some people out there will enjoy it, and I won't bore you too much. But in fact, I hope, as I say, hopefully I'll entertain you somehow. But yeah, so anyway, sorry if I'm waffling, and here goes. So as I say, here's some of my dreams or ideas and plans for Italian football. As a big Italian football fan, it's one of my passions in life. So I thought I'd cover some ideas, as I often do, about Italian football. So here goes. So number one, I would love for Italian football to be as successful as possible and come back to the glory days, like how it used to be, the number one league in the world. And like as part of that, I would love to see wealthy owners, sponsors, investors, and like fans, Italian football fans, fall in love with football and get behind their teams, the local teams. And I would love to see ideas like politicians and councillors across Italy supporting their local teams, like through funding and things like that, and like maybe even 10% of their budget going towards supporting like youth academies or opportunities for young people, which I hope to come to in more detail in these videos. So yeah, ideas to help Italian football to become number one, and committees and think tanks and things like that. Apologies if I repeat some of these ideas a few times, but yeah, that would be, I think, really cool. Number two, I think it'd be great if Italian football could learn from both the national and the club teams, but learning from other leagues, and possibly even other leagues around the world, and possibly even other sports, and both national teams and especially club teams like Serie A, especially learning from other club teams like the Premier League, how the Premier League is marketed, and how La Liga is like quite an exciting league, and how they've won so many trophies for playing that way of football. It'd be great to see Italian teams playing that way of football, perhaps, which is hard to imagine, but I think it'd be, if I'm talking about dreams, if I'm really dreaming. But yeah, so maybe also learning some of the mistakes to avoid as well, like how to make sure they plan their budgets and stay within budget and avoid some of them mistakes of one of the leagues. Maybe even the Premier League, the English Premier League, EPL, has some weaknesses which Serie A could avoid, or even other leagues. Even though the English Premier League is so good, it might have some things that Italian football could still learn from, like what not to do as well as what to do. And again, La Liga and other leagues, especially with the financial difficulties in La Liga and things like that, and even some English teams have gone bust or have had to restart, and things like Portsmouth and teams like that, or even Leeds. So maybe like learning from those leagues and different teams around the world, and like how to build on marketing, how to bring in owners and sponsors, and that sort of thing. Number three, I think it'd be great if young Italians, and again maybe local councils and governments, could give people all across their own region, all across Italy, like footballs, provide spaces for sport, places to play football, and giving them footballs and football boots, pitches to play on, and things like that, and have football in schools, and to be encouraged, as well as like parents encouraging their kids to play football as much as possible, like releasing out there as many as possible. And I think it'd be great, as I say, to see sponsors and investors, Italian football to have the lowest possible taxes, maybe like to offer a tax incentive, like if a company, or even an entire country, like some of the Arab states, or even the Chinese government or Indian government wants to invest in Italy, maybe they could say, if you invest in the local football team like AC Milan or Inter Milan or Juventus or whatever, any Italian club team, or even lower league teams, which would help them to develop as well. If you invest in those, then you can go, then it gives you more opportunity to access other markets in Italy, like property or investment land and things like that. So that could be a route to help encourage more investors. And I think because Italy and Spain were hit so hard by COVID, and they were the first countries in Europe to unfortunately go through a lot of problems with COVID, I think it would be great if FIFA and UEFA came together to like help Italian and Spanish teams like be exempt from many of the rules of the F.F.P. financial fair play, or maybe all of those rules for at least a year or something like that. Or, but also like clubs could look, owners could look at how they can, as well as sponsors, invest in Italian football and like ensure that they don't fall foul of any rules by UEFA or FIFA. Like, so they invest smartly and also invest in the youth, which will hopefully benefit the national team. And I forgot to mention in part, I also almost forgot to mention that I think it'd be great to see at least 3 under 21 or even under 21, under 21 or even under 20 players, or as many youth players and youngest possible players in each senior game in Italy, and it'd be encouraged in part football and things like that as well, grassroots levels, basically to encourage more younger players to play against older players so they learn from them, and maybe even people can discourage things like crime and criminality, like through people having a purpose through football, and like where older people could coach rather than get involved in things that they like violence or things like that. Number 4, I think it'd be great if they could make heroes out of footballers and Italians practice as much as possible. And I think if Italians practice more, have more hours of practice as well as practicing more, dare I say, superior practices, then it will help Italian football, Italy to become number 1 for football, hopefully, both national teams, as I say, and local teams, and maybe they could work together as well. Like so, the local teams on club teams can develop more grassroots football, which will benefit, as I say, both their team and the national team as much as possible. Number 5, again, I think it'd be great if like new managers, coaches, owners, sponsors, and all that were told to submit like 5 to 10 year plans to talk about what they will do to invest in Italian football or generally improve it through their ideas and their plans, like how they'll play more younger players, what they plan to achieve in 5 or 10 years or whatever. I know nowadays like not many managers or coaches last, or certainly not managers last for that long, but I think it would be great if they had those sorts of plans where they talk about what they'll do for longevity, however you pronounce the word, for those local club teams, and like they do that across Italy, hopefully it'll benefit Italian football as much as possible. Again, this is all with the goal of helping Italian teams to do well in Europe and internationally, like the World Club Cup, Europa League, and even the Europa League, Champions League, and even World Club Cup, which is like the ultimate goal, I think, the number 1 prize for club team football. Or at least one, the Champions League or the World Club Cup, I suppose, are the top prizes in club team football. Number 6, I think it'd be great if, as I say, Italian football could bring in sponsors and work with other clubs, like especially Celtic, and also have like supporters clubs in every possible country which support teams like Inter Milan or AC Milan or Juventus or teams like that. So I'd love to help Italian football to become more popular, like Italian clubs to become more popular as well as again as a national team, and maybe work with countries, especially like China and India, and helping them to develop football. So hopefully it'd be a mutually beneficial thing, and maybe they could train more, so that would benefit both Italian football and countries like China and India. And they could also like Italians could support businesses that invest in Italian football and things like that. So it'd be like a mutually beneficial thing. Number 7, again, I think it'd be great also to have football academies around the world in as many countries as possible as well. And I hope God will bless Italian football as much as possible. All being well. Number 8, again, I think it'd be great if Italians fell in love with football as much as possible, including their local team as well as the national team, and like supported each other when they played against non-Italian teams as much as possible. Number 9, again, I think it'd be great to see 5 to 10 year plans about how Italian football can develop in the future, and people like submitting their 5 to 10 year plan proposal, like I say, owners, sponsors, investors generally, and that sort of thing, and talking about what the clubs expect from owners, sponsors, investors generally, managers and coaches, and also like the players and also the fans. Like the players always put in 100% whenever they play for the teams. The fans always behave themselves and obey the law and like to cut football hooliganism and like to get behind their team in a positive way, so it gives it a better reputation as well. Like cutting football hooliganism out will hopefully benefit town football and its reputation, generally speaking, around the world for most fans, I'm sure. And number 10, I think again it would be great to see an investment or development of the youth, like again, to have at least 3 under 21 or even under 20 players, or as many young players as possible in each team, especially in friendlies or games that are not as important, or like on the bench they could be younger players. So if the game is running away from one team, like so if Juventus are playing in Europe and they are in a game where they're really losing and then no chance of getting back in, they could at least put the younger players on and learn from those games. Or if they're really winning, they could still put the younger players on. And if the other team has got very little chance or pretty much no chance of catching up, so at least those young players get as much game time as possible. Obviously, it'll be a mix between older and younger players, like more experienced players and younger players. I think on that note as well, older players should teach younger players what they know. Players like Chiellini and Bonucci and Buffon could have a role which could give them a great honour in terms of training young people, and I think they should honour people who train youth. So hope I didn't waffle too much, and I hope I made some sense, and I hope you enjoyed at least some of those ideas, and I am out. Peace out.